Okay, this is video number 14 in the series of Physician Workload Tracker or Physician RVU Tracker. For those of you who have been following along, it was in the last video that we established the concept of variable within a variable. And just by way of quick review, bring up the property sheet on FRM main, and we've been using this button is pretty much an example, but it does have an on-click embedded macro. We'll click here, and it brings up this macro, and I'll expand all. You can collapse all, expand all, but we'll show it to you this way. So we created the first variable is set temporary variable var CPT, of which we type in the CPT code that we're interested in. In the second set temporary variable, we called it var DES for the description, variable for the description. And the expression that we used to establish the variable was a Dlookup. And within the Dlookup, we place the results of the first variable. And we did the same thing for the third variable. We Dlookup the RVU value in TBL data, and we embedded the temporary variable var CPT as the criteria on which the CPT will recognize. When this number, CPT equals this number in this table, it will extract the value of the RVU. Okay. Just walking through the macro one more step. After all these temporary variables are set, it then opens the form FRM list add, and it opens it in the add mode. And when that form opens, there is an onload embedded macro on the form, and that onload embedded macro has three set properties. Those set properties are set to recognize the temporary variables that are available within memory, and it will place the CPT code, the description, and the RVU value in the appropriate fields accordingly. That form will then close, open up, and close the TBL list, and this form will go on to close the main form and then reopen it, and then the very last thing it does is it removes all temporary variables so that you'd have the ability to start over again. Okay. One thing that I don't want to forget to mention is that if you click down here in the subform and you unhide all your fields, it'll bring up this little which columns or fields do you want to unhide, and the only one that's hid is the ID column. And it can be a nice check of the system to make sure that when you click this button, let's save it, it registers a new the next ID in sequence. And if you notice, it didn't do it that time, so I would suggest you go through and say sort from largest to smallest, and then save that form. Otherwise, there may be a little glitch in your program. So make sure that the ID field is exposed and it goes from largest to smallest. And then I think you could probably unhide it, but let's click through it a couple of times and make sure it continues to work appropriately. All right, everything's adding up. And you can see you can add them in pretty quickly, almost about as quickly as you can click the mouse. You can add in a new line item to TBL list. Let's close this. Go to Open TBL List, and there's all the ones that we've been madly clicking away at. Let's do Control A, hold down the Control key, delete, and it will ask you if you wanted to delete all 37 records. That's fine. They're just dummy records. Close, open FRM main, and you can see it's ready to write a new record, but there's nothing there. Now, when you delete records in TBL lists, it actually doesn't restart the counter to 0. So when you click a button again, it'll just be the next one that was in sequence. But that's okay. You really don't use this number for any other purpose. And again, we can probably just hide that field. Okay, well, I think I'll end the video there. In the next video, we're going to look at some ways to assign different text boxes to the various tabs, and we may, in the next video, work a little bit on the physical appearance of the FRM main. Thank you for your attention, and I'll see you in the next video.